We're here. Yep. Welcome in. Welcome, YouTube. Welcome back to the Dukes and Dukettes Duke Squad. Welcome back. We're here with another scary Saturdays Matters Days. Get your cover. And what? Welcome back to another Scary Saturdays, man. This has been the first Scary Saturdays of the year. I can't believe we're in 2024 already. It's been pretty quick, but we got here quick. But this year, I'm looking forward to it. We got Blue Deuce in the chat already early. Welcome in. 2024, man. First Scary Saturdays of 2024. Hope you guys are doing great. 2024, we want more. That's the slogan I got for 2024. I know it might sound a little cheesy, but 2024, we want more. We want more productivity. We want more progress. We want more. Smash the like button if you're watching the playback and subscribe. It is free. Don't forget to smash the like button, man, for your Duke, for your Manses. And also, don't forget to join if you want to support the channel. Join the membership. Go ahead and do what you got to do with that. It's different tiers. Content on the membership channel is exclusive only for members only. So if you want to get involved and support the channel, go ahead and do that. Appreciate that much and very so. Let me make sure I got everything I need. Man, how you guys doing this weekend? How you guys doing? If you're here in the chat, man, drop it in the chat. How are you doing? This week, I know first week of January. Let me make sure I'm right on that. First week of January. Okay, yep, first week of January. New year. I'm not gonna lie, it started off a little bit challenging, I would say, for me personally. But nevertheless, I'm enjoying the year though. So far, I'm enjoying the year. We just went to a restaurant not last night, but yesterday. And I'm not gonna give it away just yet, but I'll probably let you guys know about the specific restaurant another time. Lulu said I'm doing fine. I've just been busy reading my WW1 history book. Dang, I bet it's a lot of information in that book. I bet it's a lot of. I never was able to get into history, like that. But man, kudos to you on getting into the history book, because to me that's a tough subject. To me, it's a tough subject only because I don't particularly enjoy history like that. But now, as I've gotten older, I've enjoyed learning about what used to be. But back then, you couldn't get me to read a history book. But I'm glad you're doing your thing, man. I'm glad you're doing your thing. Anybody else? How are you doing this week? Oh, we got Humble Flex in here. Oh, what's good? Hey, man, that's a baby bro right there, man. Yeah, man, go check out his content over there. We got Victoria. Oh, it was good, Victoria. Glad to have you back in. I see people coming in now, so that's good. That's good. That's good. Like I say, man, drop in the chat, man. How has your new year been and everything? You say camera looking great. Hey, I got the lighting, as well, so the camera got to look sharp. The camera got to look sharp out here. But yeah, man, drop in the chat on how you guys are doing this week, first week of January. And we'll get started here in a second with the scary stuff, man. We're going to get started. Oh, let me grab a cookie. I actually baked a cookie. I baked a cookie, last couple weeks for a bake-off, a family bake-off. Crazy stuff. But let me grab that real quick. I'll be back. The wife don't want me to have a cookie in here, but we're going to sneak a cookie one time. Hold on, guys. I made a I made a white macadamia. It's thick too. Look at this. A white macadamia nut cookie. A white macadamia. I don't know if you guys can see it. Got the white chocolate. Got the nuts in there. Hey, this is my first cookie. My first cookie I ever made. My first. I think good, son. It's, oh, so you tell her? You telling on me, man? Shoot. Oh yeah, she might be watching the playback on this. Let me. And I might eat a cookie. I ain't saying nothing about no cookie. That's nah. That's it's a it's AI. It's not even. Nah, I'm not. I'm not really chewing. I'm just acting. And that's crazy. Hey, man, let's get started, man. Scary Saturdays of 2024, the first one. Um, I was looking into some old pictures. I saw this one video. Um, I saw this one video from a comedian. What? Shoot, let me pull that up. I'm gonna pull it up because it looked freaky. I'm not gonna lie, it looked freaky. I don't know his name. I gotta okay, Shuttler King. Shuttler King. I'm gonna show y'all a little video from Shuttler King. He showed a picture, an old picture, and it looked freaky. It looked freaky, man. Oh yeah. By the way, if you scared of scary stuff, you know you might as well not attend this live because it's not super scary, but it does look a little freaky. Let me see. These people are tripping. Let me see. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna share the screen, and then we're gonna get into it. Oh, I got this. This. Hey, this it's that beer jug right here. Um, oh yeah, Blue said history is my favorite subject. My father was a war historian teacher. Okay, at university once. Hey, that's what's up. Happy New Year, Victoria. Happy New Year. Blue said, I don't know why these horror stories remind me of creep creepy pastas. I wonder what that is. I have no idea what that is, Blue. Okay, let me share my screen. I go here and I do this one right here. Share the screen. All right, we sharing the screen. This right here.
Question.
We don't want to get copyrighted. You already know what's going. I mean, it's not going to copyright you, but just in case. Look at this. Now, look at the picture right here. Look at that. I know it's probably fake. I know it's probably fake. This is just a warm up, guys. I know it's probably fake, but if you saw that in real life, you wouldn't be looking at this thing like, you wouldn't be looking at this thing like, oh, it's just a regular thing. Like, this would be a creepy object. And honestly, we don't know what's been going on back in the day when it comes to weird stuff like this because they did demonic activities. Oh yeah, maybe Blue Deuce might know some history on this, or I don't know. Do you know some history on creepy stuff? Creepypastas are fictional horror stories. The most popular stories are Slender Man. Oh, Slender Man, Slender Man, Jeff the Killer, Laughing Jack, and the disappearance of Ashley, Kansas. Yo, the disappearance of Ashley, Kansas. That sounds serious. It sounds real. That sounds real, man. But Slender Man, everybody should at least know Slender Man from like the movie or like TV. Like Slender Man was one of them things that was out there. So you at least should have caught that at some point around the way, some point. Nevertheless, that's crazy. But this picture right here, guys, I just off of face value, whether it's real or fake, if you were to see that in person, I think 9 times out of 10, it'll creep you out. At least I can speak for myself and be like, yes, it'll be a creepy thing to be around, to see like a goat head on a human. That's just freaky, But let's hear what he said.
Ladies and gentlemen, anybody want to tell me just what in the gigantic goat man is going on here?
This picture right here is proof to me that drugs have been around for a very long time. People have been getting high for a long time. Why do I say that? Only somebody high out of their damn mind would sit there next to a gigantic goat man and take a picture like everything's okay.
Hey man, whether that's real or fake, I don't know. I believe it's fake, but we see some weird stuff at we see some weird stuff at the around these weird demonic, you know, events. Victoria said Slender Man is very popular from the games. Okay. Um it does, but there was never an Ashley, Kansas in real life. Okay, okay. In the creepy pastas. Made me stop reading them since I took it seriously and got paranoid. Like, hey, like although like some of the scary stuff that I have done in the past, I know some of them were fake. The storytelling was crazy. The storytelling will have you actually believe, um, like it could have happened. You know what I mean? Because some of the like the demonic stuff. Hey, I don't really know, but I remember last time I did a scary Saturdays, I heard something in the back. Something was moving, and so I had to pause real quick and I had to get the the Glock action, the you know what I mean? I'm not gonna say because YouTube might try to cut it off. They be doing that sometimes on the scary set. How many scary Saturdays have been shut down, bro? Anyway, I had to go get the shotty to the body. You know what I'm saying? I had to get the shotty. I had to go get the toolie. But it was nothing there. Luckily, it was nothing there. But I was acting like Inspector Gadget, trying to be careful and investigate what's going on because we in the crib, man. All right, let's get down to the first story. We have creepypastas are pretty much just stories. Okay, boom. Um, we're gonna get to the first video, man. We got 5 disturbing encounters by campers in the woods. This is by Mr. Nightmare, man. Shouts out to Mr. Nightmare because his videos don't strike my channel. And well, he doesn't strike my channel for reacting to his videos, and I'm glad about that because a lot of people they will strike me down fast. Y'all have witnessed, for those who have been on live with me, have witnessed the lives just suddenly just stop. And if you ever have seen that, it's because of people getting alerts and striking them down, or YouTube is like, nah, I don't like this, or this is in violation. You're off the channel, or you're off live. So, nevertheless, let's get straight to it. Let me share the screen. Let's get it. Oh, actually, let's turn. You already know what we got to do. We got to turn off the lights. Give me a second. We had to set the mood in the. Hold on, let me turn on the lights. It's pretty bright. Goodness, it's pretty bright. Let me change the color. Actually, how you change the color on this? How do you do it? Blue. Okay, let me turn it down. Let me turn it down. Okay. All right, it's dark in here. It's dark. Get here or get to the edge right here. There we go. All right. Let's get to the first one. It's EddyEd TV.
Xylophobia is the fear of the woods or forests. A large chunk of the population exhibits at least a partial form of this phobia, and the reason for that isn't so surprising. Being out in the middle of a forest at night naturally can bring out an innate fear we have programmed into us that's meant to keep us alive. That fear can stem from the darkness of the woods itself, or rather what may be hiding in the darkness, be it wild animals, or sometimes even worse, other humans. These are some instances caught on video of campers realizing they may not be alone in the middle of the woods. Starting with this video, we see a group of friends out in the middle of the woods on a camping trip, where they were drinking by the fire and having a good time. The group started hearing strange noises in the not so far distance, noises that started with loud bangs and then turned into something more disturbing. When the sounds kept happening, one of the men decided to start recording, and and this was the video he captured.
Hear that? Get Trevor. Austin, get the light.
What the heck?
Hey!
Whoa!
That was not an elk. Get my keys.
That sounds like somebody pranking them, bro. It sounds like a rat. It sounds like somebody. It's not like a human being. First of all, it sounds like somebody's pranking them, making noise, trying to scare them. But I would say, I ain't about to go check it out though. You're not gonna get. I'm not gonna go out there and see, hey, who's out there? No, that's not happening. But off of face value, that sounds like a human. But let's see.
Get ready.
Oh shoot! Hold on.
Everybody, get in my truck.
Hey, exactly.
If you're a coach, consultant, or course creator, this PDF right here.
Hey, listen, Trevor, bro. He know that's the smartest. That's the smartest brother I've seen on these scary Saturdays so far. He ain't wasting no time trying to do investigating discovery. He is getting in the truck and dipping. Leave the tent. Leave everything. Get out of there, bro. Take your wallet or whatever you need. That's essential. Everything else that can be replaced, leave that where it is. Get out of there, bro.
As you just heard, the unknown bangs in the distance were followed by strange animalistic grunts and calls. There is definitely a human element to the vocals, but the sheer volume and power behind the vocals, especially taking into consideration how significantly diminished the audio can become in the recording process, is what creates the question of whether these vocalizations were actually made by humans or not. The sounds also appear to be coming from more than one source, as one call sounds much closer than the other. The bangs are also very questionable. There's clearly a lot of power behind whatever the bangs are, and if the bangs were to be coming from a tree being hit with something by a human, the quick speed of the bangs would be shocking to say the least. The bangs do seem to resemble a kind of drumming sound, but that only opens the door to more questions, such as who and why would anyone be banging on drums in the middle of the woods at night? Whatever the sounds were, the group of friends made the right call getting back in the truck and getting out of there as quickly as possible.
Exactly.
Similarly, in this next video, another YouTuber is sitting by his campfire at his campsite at the Fairy Lake, Quebec, at some unknown hour in the night when he hears sounds out in the distance.
A YouTuber,
Choosing
bro.
to investigate.
Hey, y'all have asked me, will I go camping and stuff like that? Man, I ain't doing all that, bro. I'll camp in my backyard, but I'm not camping in no isolated location, bro. I found a way around YouTube's anti-blocker using uBlock ad blocker and Proton VPN. Hey, that's what's up.
The man walks through the pitch black woods with the only light being from his flashlight.
There you go, man. Trying to look for what's out there. Are you crazy? And by yourself?
Let's see how this place looks like without any lights.
Bro, are you crazy? Look at this guy, man.
Pitch black.
Of course it
Imagine
is.
being out here. This is one of the creepiest forests I've ever been. And I'll be spending the night here.
Do he have a gun?
I'm not sure if you guys ever seen the Blair Witch Project, but damn, this is just giving me Blair Witch Project vibes.
Moments after stating how familiar this environment is to the Blair Witch Project, this happens.
Oh, fuck. Oh, hi. What the hell?
Hey, yo.
I need to get out of here.
Oh, now you need to get out of
A
here?
high-pitched voice calls out from the darkness of the woods, "I see you." It sounds like it could have been a child. The man behind the camera
Man, I don't
acknowledges the
know, man.
possibility that it could have been another camper. However, he also mentions that he'd been in these woods many times and had never seen anyone else in them. Furthermore, if it was another camper, it would be an incredibly creepy thing to call out to someone else in the woods, knowing the kind of fear it would likely instill in anybody. The man made it back to his campsite afterwards and didn't hear the voice ever again.
I don't know if I believe that one.
Another form of camping is car camping, usually done in a truck, van, or larger vehicle. Car camping can provide an added sense of security over a tent for a multitude of reasons. In the following video, a young man named Noah took his truck out to Sun River, Oregon, where he found a deserted road alongside the woods. Noah decided to take his truck down this road and park it there for the night, where he would sleep. He thought this would be a perfect place to camp out since no one else would be around, but he was mistaken. At some point in the night, Noah was awoken to sounds outside of his truck, which was when he started recording on his GoPro.
I'm currently sleeping in the back of my truck right now. I don't even know what time it is. And there's someone walking around my truck.
What are you talking about,
right
bro?
now. If you can hear that, it's pretty loud. He's been walking around for like 20 minutes already. My gun's in my cab though.
Okay, you got the gun? Hey, whoa, you got the, I'm proud. He got the gun. That's at least gotta be some claps. He got the gun, at least. Okay, he's strapped. He's strapped in. If you were out there naked without any tool on you, I would have had to drop the dumb piece on this thing. He got the tools on him, but still, you got to be locked and loaded. You can't just have it on you and not have it on you. You got to have it on you, and you got to have it ready for a blast off. Let's go.
I'm a little freaked out right now, and it's like pitch black outside, probably like 2 in the morning, and he just keeps walking around, and he's like really close to my truck. I've never been this scared, and like this doesn't make any sense because I parked somewhere where you couldn't see. No one was on that road. He's literally knocking.
Hey.
He's literally knocking.
Oh,
My
snap.
truck. The canopy, the back door's locked. I've never been scared before ever. I don't think he knows that there's anyone in here.
Hey. That's scary.
I'm so scared right now. I wish I brought my gun back here.
What? You ain't bring it back? Oh, man. Bro, you got to go get that. You don't got it back there? Oh, brother.
All health insurance is not the
Nah, he got to go get that gun, bro. Nah.
I don't get it. Like, how is he not have noticed? Doesn't make any sense. We'll see. He's literally peeking through the door right now.
Oh, shoot. He's peeking through the door.
I've never been this scared ever. So, the current time is 2:30 in the morning right now. He's still walking around my truck. Try to see if I can flash
He's
my
still
light.
walking around the truck. Bro, you better get your gun.
Throughout the video, someone can be heard rubbing their fingers against the glass of the truck, and then at multiple points, there's a tapping on the glass too. The video then cuts to the next day, where Noah can see exactly what the person outside of his truck was doing. Hand marks all along the back windshield, which suggests the person was trying to wipe away the dirt on the glass to get a look inside the truck. So Noah wasn't as alone in those woods as he thought he would have been. But luckily he was in the safety of a locked vehicle as opposed to a tent.
Man.
Handprints there, a lot of scratches, stuff like that. Dragging his finger on my side of my truck. Well, looks like to be trying to get inside my truck. More handprints trying to get in my truck. At least the back canopy was locked, but yeah, that was the result.
That's crazy.
Another instance of someone having an unexpected visitor while car camping comes from the YouTube channel Asleep 5 Decades. This time it's a woman named Lisa in her van camping out overnight. Lisa nicknames her van the Dream Machine, which she travels in. She was awoken from a deep sleep around 4:30 in the morning to a knocking on her van, right by her head.
Hey, real quick, man. Like, at the very least, don't go by yourself.
There were 3 sets
Like, why go by yourself though? Out of all things, that's the easy way to get got and have less chance of survival. Bro, I don't understand it. I wouldn't. If I ever did, I would not be. I at least have at least 4 or 5 people at least, and we all need to be holding something. We all need to have something packing on us. 100%.
sets of knocks, each set with 3 knocks, and by the 3rd set of knocks, she pulled out her phone and started recording.
Somebody's back here again. I hear footprints.
Hello? You hear footprints.
How can I help you?
What? The heck? How can I help you? I have a question for you. I hear footprints. Huh? How does that even make sense, guys? You first of all, you can't hear footprints. You're gonna say, "How can I help you?" This is not McDonald's. And then he gonna say, "I have a question for you." Nah, man, y'all think this is fake or real, man? Do y'all just based off of those answers? That sound like BS. That doesn't sound right, man. Drop your thoughts in the comments on this one, man, because this, like, I have never heard anybody. Let's just play the video, man. I don't know about this one, man.
30 in the morning. I don't feel safe. Who are you?
The man knocking on the van can be heard saying, "I have a question for you." For someone to approach a woman's van at 4:30 in the morning, knowing she's inside of it and saying, "I have a question for you," is as big of a red flag as can be.
How has Shopify enabled your business to scale?
That's definitely copyright material. They got music.
Peeks out the front of her van to see a car parked way down the road with its headlights on. Likely the car the person knocking on the van arrived in.
So I quietly got up and I went to the front and I peeked out and parked way up on the drive. All I could see is like headlights, and then they backed out and went and left.
Whether there was someone else in the car or not is unknown. The next morning, Lisa finds large boot marks in the snow right outside her van. It's very possible the man outside of her van tried to enter the van only to realize it was locked. Luckily, Lisa had the doors locked, but after something like this happens, if you're in a vehicle, it would be best to get behind the wheel and drive somewhere else immediately. Fortunately for Lisa, things didn't go south this time.
Bro, this time.
In this last video, YouTuber EddyEd Ventures takes his stealth camper van out to the woods in honor of Halloween night.
Hold on, EddyEd Ventures. Hold on, we gotta look this guy up. EddyEd Ventures. He's a fellow Ed. He can't be acting stupid. Because if he acting stupid, he not a real Ed. You know what I mean? I'm trying to ride. But I'm saying, man, Eds don't act like this. EddyEd Ventures. Hold on, I'm gonna look him up real quick. Give me EddyEd Ventures. Hold on. I don't know how to spell it. EddyEd Ventures. I don't know if it's one word or two. EddyEd Venture. Let's see. See if that. No, that's not him. That's not. Oh my gosh. Dang. If he put his name on there, I would have looked him up. I don't know his name.
He brings his van as close to the woods as he can before he has to continue into the woods on foot.
Here for now. I'm unfortunately, this is the closest that we can get.
Oh, it's from
to the
London.
woods. We can't take the van any further, but I will be going in there on foot.
Alongside the woods is
from
an
England.
old church house and cemetery that he
Or
has to
UK.
pass before entering the woods. While he decides to post up and make a latte in the woods.
A
this
latte?
happens.
Hey, man. This is... As he trying to make a latte in the woods. This is sounding more and more ridiculous, man. A latte in the woods? Not even in the car, at least. Bro, come on, man. This is more funny than scary. Yo, he got the cheek.
I don't really think this through. I should have got a saucepan with a lid.
Hey.
An easily missed white shadow can be seen walking past in the background.
What the
And then multiple times, he hears sounds not far away. And when he looks off to the distance, small orb-like lights appear at times.
What's that?
Hmm?
I've come up to that bit where the light was just shining.
I see it. I see it. I see it, bro.
He's moved. I'm gonna have to go and check that out.
No, wow. He sounds like the crocodile hunter. I'm gonna check that out. I gotta see. Hold on. Yo, this guy's like this. We gotta see. Hold on. We gotta see what's out there. I gotta check that out. Bro, don't check it out. You gonna get cut. You check that out, man.
Notably, perhaps you missed it,
That's
was
funny.
a silhouette-looking object just briefly exposed by the light.
He's moved. I'm gonna have to go and check that out.
This
Hey,
might not be the last time this is seen. As he continues to walk, he stops in his tracks as he's sure he sees a person ahead of him in the darkness.
I swear, I keep seeing someone. Hold on.
Do you have somebody with you, bro?
There's no one there. I swear. There was. I think I'm gonna go this way, to be honest with you. The hell? That is a person. I'm not even joking.
Oh!
The f***?
Oh!
I can't see anything.
Oh!
What's that?
He says he's confident this was
What?
a person as he saw them turn around and look at him. Others in the comments suggest it was a mannequin placed there by someone as a Halloween prank, while
Maybe.
others bring up the close proximity to the cemetery and the white orbs and suggest that something paranormal was going on. And
Maybe it
of
was a
course,
prank.
there are some people who think it could have been staged as well.
Could
But
be
what was
staged.
really happening in this video is anybody's guess.
All right, there we have it for the first video. Man, I don't know. A lot of it sound funny. It was actually a lot of fun or funny stuff that happened. Then scary. The last one was a little bit freaky. But tell me why the lady. First, boy, we gotta start from the bottom all the way to the top. Why is he making a latte out in the open on a fire, bro? Out of all places, you're gonna try to make a latte by yourself out in the woods, bro? That is crazy. That's hilarious just off of that one. And then we got the lady talking about how may I help you? Bro, he want to help himself by taking what's inside the car. Like he don't want help from you. He want to help himself. That's what he wants. And then what did the first guy do? He was messing around, not having his gun close enough. But actually, you got to be careful with the gun, sleeping with the gun. But still, man, you out in the woods and you got your gun all the way far away from you where you can't access it quickly. You messing up, brother. You are messing. We're going to switch to the next video, man. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Where's the thing at? Go to smash the like button. Subscribe is free. Right now for your Duke. Appreciate you guys. Hope you guys doing all right so far. That was like a warm-up video. I thought it was gonna be something, but that was funny. That wasn't even scary. The last part was probably the creepiest, where at least they showed us something creepy. But we'll see on the next video. That was Mr. Nightmare 5 disturbing encounters by campers in the woods. Let's go to the next video. All right. We have here 3 horrifying true New Year's Eve horror stories. Okay, so we got New Year's Eve, guys. So New Year's, you already know it's the new year. I've heard actually some tragic news and some tragic things about certain things that happened around New Year's. Like one of my friend, one of my good friends, he told me that a girl he knew passed because she got shot by a stray bullet. And it was intended for somebody else, but she was around that person. She got popped, and that's unfortunate. Getting shot when it wasn't intended to get you. That kind of sucks, but that's what happened, unfortunately. So yeah, I mean, a lot of crazy stuff happens in the new year, New Year's Eve and stuff like that, because people just do some crazy stuff, drinking and driving, the whole nine. But let's see what kind of creepy New Year's Eve stuff happens. This is actually creepy instead of unfortunate. So let's see.
It was December 31st, New Year's Eve. My friend Alex hired me to watch his dog Bailey for the weekend while he was out of town for the new year. I'm 35, he's 27, so I don't have that same urge to go out and party for New Year's Eve like he does. So I was more okay with making some money and taking it easy for the night. New Year's Eve was on a Saturday. He left for the city early in the day when I got there. He'd be back Sunday night. He left me with very basic instructions to just feed him and walk him twice a day and keep him off the furniture. Bailey is a very small husky mix. I'm not sure what else she is, but she's about a third the size of a regular husky, and she's very quiet and well-behaved. Hence why Alex was okay with me watching her instead of a dog sitter. I brought a backpack which contained my laptop, charger, toiletries, and a change of clothes for Sunday. Alex and I don't go way back. We met through mutual friends and had started going out occasionally on the weekends ever since. I would be sleeping in the spare bedroom of his house on the futon. Throughout the day, I just did stuff on my laptop and played some of Alex's video games. Later in the night, I invited my girl over with Alex's permission. His response was, "You better not in my bed," a way of jokingly saying yes, she can come over. She said she'd be getting out of work after 12.
Okay.
Then she'd come straight over.
12 midnight is crazy.
Alex's house is about half an hour from us, so my girl
That's
Trisha
late.
wouldn't be getting there until late. I had to kill the time alone with Bailey watching movies until then. We were in the living room, and Bailey was by my feet. It was probably 9 p.m. when the doorbell rang. I went to answer the door, and it was a girl at the door. She looked about 30. She had a hoodie on and was holding a jacket. She introduced herself as Alex's girlfriend and said she left something here that she needed to grab. I offered to grab it if she wanted, and she said no, it's okay. She knew where it was in his room. I said, okay, that's fine, and let her inside. She went straight upstairs to Alex's room and slightly closed the door behind her without latching it. I right away texted Alex, "I didn't know you had a girlfriend." She was in there.
What if you could make a
Uh-oh. There's about to be some crazy lady that knows about him and found an opportunity somehow. That's crazy. Let's hear this.
Time until she came back out, still holding her jacket. She came back down the stairs and thanked me and was going straight for the door. I tried to stop her for a quick conversation, saying, "How long have you guys been dating?" And she said, "Too long," then laughed, as if making a joke. I laughed too, and then she said, "Have a good night." I was a bit surprised by the interaction, but what I gathered from it was they had probably just recently broken up. Now I started to worry that maybe I shouldn't have let her in. Since Alex hadn't answered my text yet, I called him a few times before he picked up.
Oh boy.
He was out with his friends in a loud setting, so he could hardly hear me until he went outside to talk. I told him his girlfriend just came by to grab something, and he was completely bewildered at what I was saying.
What?
"Who are you talking about?" he said.
Oh,
I responded,
Lord.
"She said she was your girlfriend. I didn't get a name." He said in a yell, "You know I don't have a girlfriend. What did she look like?"
Oh,
I started to feel really stupid just about now.
No.
I described the girl, and he said he had no idea who this could have been. I then proceeded to explain to him that she went upstairs to his room for a few minutes, then came back down. This was when he started freaking out. He told me to go up to his room now and check if she stole anything. Of course, I didn't know what was in his room beforehand, so he had me check for specific things, which all appeared to still be there. He tried hard to figure out who it could have been, and said he'd call me back after he made some calls and sent me some pictures of different girls. Understandably, this was putting a damper on his night. I could tell he'd already been drinking, so I felt awfully stupid for letting some random girl into the house. He started sending me screenshots of different girls' Instagram accounts, none of them resembling the girl who came in. When I said no to all of them, he went silent for an hour. Then he texted me randomly, "I think I know who it was. Make sure she doesn't come back." I didn't ask any further questions. I responded, "Okay, my bad," and left it at that. Clearly, Alex was going through some serious girl drama, or so I thought. I watched the ball drop alone. Not that I really care about the new year or the ball drop at all. Later that night, Trisha finally made it over, and so we hung out in the living room together. I told her what happened, and she was shocked. But then a freakish coincidence happened. Bailey lifted her head and looked at the front door, and then there was a knocking at the door. Whoever it was didn't ring the bell. There was no shot I was opening it. I called Alex a bunch of times, but he didn't pick up. He was wasted and didn't even feel his phone vibrating.
Wow.
Trisha and I stayed quiet, and eventually, whoever it was went away. I was honestly unnerved now. Surely it was in connection to whoever that girl was earlier. Maybe it was even her again. Either way, I didn't want to get involved any further in what was going on. After this, we decided to migrate to the spare bedroom where we'd stay for the night on the futon. We had a movie on as we laid down, and I held her. We fell asleep in this position and woke up at some unknown hour in the night, which I later found out was less than an hour after we fell asleep. I woke to Bailey's howling. She was in the room with us. Trisha woke up after me. Bailey was at the bedroom door with her tail wagging, howling. I whispered, "Bailey, shush." She looked at me and then came over, but she stayed staring at the door, now growling, making unhappy whimpering sounds. Then there were footsteps outside on the wood floors. We heard what had to be at least 2 pairs of footsteps, tiptoeing to the door. And then the doorknob twisted. By force of habit, we had the door locked, thankfully. And a girl's voice said, "Alex?" I looked at Trisha and signaled for her to stay quiet. That girl was not alone. Another light tap at the door, and then the girl's voice said, "Who's in there? This is Alex's house." I made the decision to say in a loud voice, almost a yell, "The cops have been on their way for a few minutes now, just so you know." The girl said, "Who are you?" I didn't bite. I whispered to Trisha to actually call the police, and she did. The entire time she whispered into the phone. I said loud and clear, "I dare you to do something, because the time you do it, the cops will be running through the front door." I heard a whisper on the other side of the door. Then, multiple pairs of footsteps walking away from the door. We stayed in the room, waiting for the cops to get there. Since the front door was left wide open by those people, the cops came right in. The house was clear by this point. I gave my entire recount of the story, and then called Alex multiple times until he finally picked up, still sounding pretty drunk. One cop talked with him on the phone for a few minutes, while I sat with Trisha speaking with another cop. After all this was said and done, the accepted assumption was that there was a key in Alex's room taken by that girl from hours before. This was a pretty messy situation, since Alex couldn't just come all the way home this late. He practically begged me to stay the rest of the night. I had Trisha go home. I stayed because I felt responsible for letting that girl in the first place. I stayed locked in that room the rest of the night with Bailey. I literally wedged a chair against the front door, some half-assed attempt at keeping them out if they decided to return. By morning, though, it seemed that they didn't return. Alex came back earlier that day than originally planned. I'm not going to air out any more private information to the internet than I already have, just in case anyone who knows him can figure out this story is about him. But he did tell me who he thought the girl was, and the story behind it proves that men have to be careful too with the women they choose to interact with. That girl and whoever was with her's intention of breaking in wasn't to steal anything, evidently, which is the scariest part. He changed his locks ASAP. I can't even imagine staying in that house if I were him after this.
That is crazy.
However, it's been a year, and as far as I know, nothing has happened. Unless he's keeping more to the story he told me a secret.
Hey, change the locks, obviously, and get new and get And get a new set of keys. Excuse me. Goodness. Yeah, Bluetooth. This is disturbing. But luckily, nothing happened to them. You know, Alex's friend survived with his lady. Luckily, man. Multiple footsteps. They could have been trying to rob the whole house or do something to Alex. So I don't know, man. I have no idea. But he survived. And in this situation, definitely call the police, lock yourself in the door or in the room, and do your best to keep yourself safe. You know, let's see the next story. Don't forget to smash the like button, guys. If we haven't already, if you're watching the playback, go ahead and smash the like button. Story number 2 by Zodiac or the Zodiac.
After returning from a night to celebrate the arrival of the new year, my husband and I returned to our apartment complex to turn in for the night. We both had a couple of drinks, but neither of us were intoxicated. As much as we enjoy partying with friends, when it comes down to it, we are really just homebodies. We lived in the corner penthouse suite of our complex. Although this was never confirmed, it was suspected the owners wanted to convert this apartment complex into condos. The rent certainly was not cheap, and access was limited to this floor. Upon entering the building, there is a walk-up, 2 secure doors, and every now and then, there would be a doorman to greet you as you entered or exited. There were also multiple security cameras placed throughout and around the building. It was an especially cold evening, and when we returned, there was no doorman present.
Hold on real quick. Let me get to the comments. Victoria said, imagine someone trying to break in your house. It's terrifying. Yeah, it is terrifying. Make them sound like the infamous Zodiac killer.
It was late, at least 2 a.m. The foyer was empty, and one of the lights flickered softly. My husband and I entered the elevator and pressed the button to the top floor. The elevator ride was smooth, and as we ascended, I could feel myself becoming more relaxed, excited to finally be home and able to rest. My feet were killing me from wearing heels all night in the bitter cold. The bell chimed, signaling we had reached our floor. The door slid open, and we turned the corner to the left. Like I said, our suite was the corner suite at the end of the hall. However, something caught our eye. A woman, or what at least looked like a woman, was meandering through the hallway. Her hair was dark and scattered. It looked to be matted and covered her face. She wore a black lace dress that was torn and looked to be in bad shape. Thinking back, I don't even think she had any footwear on. We assumed she was intoxicated and was having difficulty finding her suite. Although on closer inspection, she didn't look familiar. We knew all of our neighbors, as like I said, access was limited on this floor. I looked at my husband, who stood still as well. I could see he was contemplating the same thoughts. I asked him, should we ask if she needs help? He looked at me and said, just wait, maybe she's just drunk and having a hard time finding her suite.
Maybe she's drunk.
The woman just continued to slowly slide herself along the walls of the hallway, stopping at each door and peering through the exterior peepholes. Admittedly, this was creepy, but it just added to the theory that she was a drunk woman looking for her friends. She was humming, or what I believe was humming. The sound was something between a growl and a hum. We stood there in utter disbelief and awe.
Is that a zombie?
However, there was a veil of tension and uneasiness that lingered. The strange woman stumbled through the hallway, hunched over until she pulled herself up to peer through the peephole. She eventually got to a suite of an elderly lady, whom I have a strong connection with. We'll just call her Tilly. Tilly was the sort of woman whose family had neglected her and rarely visited.
No.
She would bring my husband and I baked goods from time to time.
Well, Grandma.
I would bring her leftovers
Grandma
and
baked
assist her
goods.
with groceries and medication frequently. Tilly's smoke alarm would constantly go off. I would have to rush over and pull out the smoldering toast from her toaster and fan her smoke alarm until it stopped beeping. At times a nuisance, but it would always turn into tea time. Nevertheless, I cared about Tilly. So when I saw this strange woman peer into her peephole, I reacted. I blurted out, "Excuse me, are you all right?" I could feel myself lose confidence as I asked.
Wow.
The strange woman seemed to shudder for a moment and hunched over to the floor. She looked like she was about to puke or was frightened by my voice. My husband and I stepped closer, but the woman then let out a series of soft and menacing laughs, just barely audible. I have to admit, In this moment, I was thoroughly creeped out and
Hey,
reached for my
man.
cell phone. It
Reach.
was
Okay.
uncomfortable because we couldn't get to our suite without having to walk right past this deranged woman.
Oh, man.
My husband said, "Hey, did you hear us? Do you need help?" Her laugh began to grow into what was a steady cackle. The strange woman then stood up. As she stood
Hey.
up, her cackle became a mixture between a cackle and a boisterous growl. She then
What?
stumbled forward and continued walking down the hall. There was a staircase just outside of our suite. I assumed she was making her way to the stairs, just too embarrassed to walk past us to the elevator. Maybe she was just a drunk woman, and this was nothing more than an uncomfortable standoff with a sad and intoxicated woman.
Okay.
I mean, if she was really that drunk, the stairs probably weren't a good idea.
Now she tumbled
We're
down
on
the
the
stairs for
7th
sure.
floor. Nevertheless, I just didn't feel like it was worth the risk to engage with this woman. I just wanted to enter my suite and dive into bed. It was late, and my feet still hurt. As we took a few steps forward, the woman stopped. Almost with laser precision, she stood up completely straight, looked right at our door, and then began to pound on our door, screaming bloody murder. I could feel myself becoming swallowed with fear. I reached for my cell phone and began to dial 911.
Bro, you're
The
too
woman
late.
kept pounding on our door and screaming. To be honest,
too
I'm
late,
surprised none of our neighbors came out to see what was happening. Part of me thinks they were too afraid themselves and were probably peering out of their peepholes,
They mind their business.
afraid of what our neighbors would think. My husband said, "Hey, what are you doing? Stop that." And just like that, the strange woman stopped, fell to the ground, and began crawling quickly towards us.
What?
She looked up for a brief second. All I could see were her dark eyes. Her mouth seemed to be stained black, and she was growling again. But this time, it was as if there was something in her throat that she was choking on. Frozen with fear, my husband and I just watched until she flashed us a menacing hiss, the kind you would hear in a movie, but never imagine in real life.
She got a demon.
Terrified, I whipped off my shoes, and my husband and I ran towards the staircase on the other side of the building. We didn't want to risk waiting for the elevator and have her catching up.
I know, for real.
We went down 2 flights of stairs and stopped to listen if she was making her way down the stairs. But it was almost impossible to hear as my heart was pounding so hard. I thought to myself, what the hell was going on?
Oh my goodness, bro.
We
She got a
waited there for
demon,
10
y'all.
minutes or so, until eventually we had the courage to head up the stairs and back to our suite. The woman was gone, and so we entered our suite.
What?
I was just relieved to finally be safe in my home. My husband sent a text to our landlord, and he replied that we would hear from him in the morning. I was so unbelievably exhausted, but found it incredibly difficult to sleep. The sound of that woman's growling and cackling rang in my ears. I hardly slept. The next day, when my husband went to speak to the landlord, he asked him to check the security cameras, although nothing turned up. The landlord said the cameras glitched due to the frigid temperatures last night.
Oh my goodness.
To this day, I still don't know
You
what to
serious?
think. That woman most certainly had problems. The question is, was she dangerous? We moved about a year later, but every New Year's Eve, I still think about that night.
All right. That story was the description of it was definitely creepy. Like what the lady was hunched over, was crawling toward them, was cackling, growling, mouth area was black, looking like she was choking on stuff. That's typical horror movie activity right there. That's what that is. That is disturbing. Like in that situation, man, I'm getting up out of there. If the person was doing the growling stuff and acting strange like that, I am getting out of the way. That's what I'm doing. But let me know what you guys would do in that situation. Like, would you stay and call the police and just stand your ground, or would you get out of there, call the police, or would you just think about getting out of there? Because I would just try to get out of there. That's what I'm gonna do. So drop it down in the comments and in the chat if you have any idea what you would do. Travis Clark.
Oh my God, here we go.
And all of us were ready for this horrible year to. It was was New Year's Eve of 2020, and all of us were ready for this horrible year to be over. My friend Logan was throwing a house party. I arrived early to help set things up. I secured a spot to sleep in his parents' room, meaning I could drive to the party and drink without having to worry about driving home. His parents obviously weren't home for the night. Most of our close friends in our friend group came, plus a bunch of Logan's friends who I didn't know. The party was fun. At midnight, everyone screamed Happy New Year and cheers their drinks. After that, people slowly started circulating out, and the party started to quiet down, as people went to either other parties, bars, or home. The later the night got, the more it became just the closer friends staying behind until it just turned into a chill drinking session in the living room. This went on late into the night. It was likely 3 a.m. when the last of everyone who wasn't sleeping at Logan's house was gone. As it quieted down, we started hearing this occasional sound. At first, we didn't know what it was, but it soon started to sound like a creaking sound. It was dismissed as a sound from the fridge or something at first, which I know sounds stupid, but house appliances often make weird noises. It was just Logan, me, and Cody. Cody was falling asleep on the couch already. It was reaching that time where we were just going to go to sleep. However, eventually we got so bothered by the noise that we had to search. We went to the kitchen, and it wasn't coming from in there. We realized when we were close to the basement door that it was coming from downstairs. Logan opened the door, and we heard this creaking sound.
The heck? Somebody trying to sneak up on y'all.
Go check what it is, I said. He kept saying, no way.
Exactly. Who's checking on that? Don't go there, because something's there, bro.
And he called down into the basement, yo, who's down there? The creaking stopped, and we never heard it again.
Oh, something was there. Something was down there. Oh, my goodness. Y'all should have threw like a flashlight.
After a solid minute of waiting at the top of the stairs, we agreed to go down together. We both grabbed knives, drunkenly thinking that was a good idea. When in reality, we were so drunk we'd probably only hurt ourselves with them. We got to the bottom of the stairs and looked through the entire basement. It's not huge. It just has a couch, TV, a bar, a table in the corner, and various old pieces of junk. It was pretty messy at the time. The first thing we did was search any possible crevice for someone who could be hiding. Then we tried to figure out what could have been making that sound. I noticed a rocking chair, and so I went up to it, sat in it, and then started rocking in it. And it made the exact same creaking sound we had been hearing.
What?
Logan and I looked at each other. I stood up, and so did every hair on my body.
Oh.
I don't think we ever ran faster than we did when we ran up those stairs and slammed the door shut. We tried to come up with any logical explanation, but there was none.
What?
We kept the basement door locked for days until his parents came back. There was no living soul down there.
What?
Something was moving that rocking chair.
No!
That rocking chair used to belong to his grandma, who passed away forever ago.
Oh,
and it's just
no.
something his mom held on to for sentimental reasons. I can't say I've ever experienced anything resembling the paranormal before this, nor since then. It still sends chills down my spine.
Hey. No, please, please, please. Hey, that they ran so fast up the stairs. Like I would do the same thing. It was nobody down there. Oh my gosh. That has got to be very creepy. When they realized, hold on, we don't. Or what if the person was hiding so good? It was a small basement. You see, I'm glad I don't have a basement either. I don't have a basement, but actually, I kind of have like some kind of thing underneath, some space underneath the house. But it's not a basement though. But I'm glad I don't have a basement. I'm glad I do not have a basement because creepy stuff always happens in basements and attics. Basements and attics. If you ever watched like a classic horror movie, they always got to go down to a basement or attic, either of a house or of a building. Like, bro, and you know they're gonna find something creepy. Something's gonna pop out. Something was there waiting. Something is there, bro. And this attic had a chair that creaked, and nobody was there. That's definitely paranormal activity, right? That is scary. Blue said, "I'm glad I don't have a basement." Me too. Me too. Sound like his grandmother's soul on that chair. Hey, somebody was rocking the chair. Somebody was rocking the chair, man. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. So that was the second video. We got one more video. Hey, thank goodness the video has not been or the live stream rather has not been shut down randomly, because like I say, Mr. Nightmare, man, shouts out to Mr. Nightmare. He doesn't strike down videos when you do reactions to it. So at least we got some good people or some good channels out here that lets you react to their content without striking you. So let's go ahead and share the screen for this last video. Let's get it rocking. Let's get it popping. We have this video is titled 3 Horrifying True Out of Gas Horror Stories. Now, just off the top, you're not going to ever catch me, well, only for a purposeful reason. The only time I'm running out of gas is if I want to totally get all the gas that I have in my car due to old gas, because old gas is a thing. Like when you have old gas, it kind of messes up the engine. So just to filter everything out, I would go to E just for the filtration part or the getting rid of all the old gas part. But on the usual basis, I at least have, at the very least, usually 1/4 of gas. 1/4. I don't get close to E like how most people do. Most people go to E and they're like, okay, let me get gas. I used to do when I get half a tank, then I get gas, but right now I'm not doing that. But I'm gonna start doing that again. But I used to do when I get to half a tank, then I'll get some more gas and then go back to full, just so I'm always topped off. And if I need, and if I'm ever like in a spot where I can't get gas, at least I have half a tank. That's my logic behind it, and why I do half a tank. So you won't catch me. It's gonna be a very rare sighting catching me without of gas. Catching me in an out of gas situation, I would say that. Ludo said, I remember one of the creepypasta named Car Door, where a couple ran out of gas and it goes for help but doesn't return after a few hours. A creepy man stumbles upon the car asking the woman, "Let me in." That is crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know about that one. But out of gas is scary, and it's very scary to be out of gas at night. Being out of gas in the day, it just really sucks. You're more like angry that it's probably hot outside and you can't go nowhere. But out of gas at night, you're scared. You're like, oh Lord, I don't want to get Michael Myers. I don't want to get snatched, sold. You know what I mean? Like all the danger stuff comes. But when it's in the day, it's like you just really inconvenienced and you're just pissed off because you're outside.
This happened way back in 2005. I was 18. I was living in Uvalde, Texas, a very low-income neighborhood, the kind you'll find sprawled out all over the place in rural Texas when you're not right outside of a city. The closest city to me was San Antonio. I was going to some local community college.
Beautiful.
Because that's all my parents could afford for me. One of my best friends from high school, Andrew, moved to San Antonio to go to San Antonio College. He was living in some small apartment a little outside of the city with a roommate. His girlfriend would also often stay with him. Since the city's only really an hour and a half away, I would visit him all the time. He invited me this one weekend to come crash for the night. So I took my trusty old 1995 Toyota pickup truck. Nah, just kidding. The thing was a piece of crap. The gas gauge didn't even work on it. I'd have to always just keep track of when the last time I filled the tank up was, then reset the trip mileage. I took Route 90, which was a straight shot from Uvalde to San Antonio. I was on the road at like 3 p.m. on a Friday. There was no traffic at all. I got to Andrew at a reasonable time. His girlfriend wouldn't be getting there until tomorrow, so tonight we were going to go out. We stopped at a liquor store and we drank in his apartment for a while with his roommate. Then the three of us went to this dive bar that would kind of look the other way with fake IDs. That was basically our night. We got back to their apartment around 2 a.m. after getting food. I slept on the couch. The next day would have almost been the same thing, but Andrew and his girlfriend were having issues all day, and as the two of them got drunker as the night progressed, she started yelling at him in front of me, and it got really awkward and uncomfortable. I didn't really have much to drink that day because I was already iffy about staying the night with her there. I eventually decided I would just head back home. I said goodbye to everyone and started my journey home. It was very late at night. I want to guess midnight, maybe a little earlier. Route 90 was deserted at this time, so I would fly for my pickup standards. But suddenly the engine started sputtering. I felt my heart completely drop as I realized I forgot to fill up the tank. I slowed down, but it was too late. The engine cut.
Oh,
I pulled to the
wow.
side of the road and tried starting it a few times, but it did no good. I took out my cell phone, which was equally as shitty as my truck. I tried to get a signal.
That's so terrible. Hey, copyright. That is so terrible, man. Come on, baby.
I couldn't even call for help. I tried to get a signal.
Oh, wow.
No shot. I couldn't even call for help.
That is terrible,
I had to
man.
just put my hazards on and hope a good Samaritan would pass.
No.
You wouldn't believe how long I sat on the side of the road before seeing headlights. I waved my arms as the car approached, but it zoomed past me, ignoring me.
Yeah, like
this happened again after another 10 minutes
you know
or
what?
so.
If we don't know if
I
it's
was
a
starting
setup
to feel
or not,
hopeless. Like maybe I should just sleep in my car and wait till sunrise
sleep
to
in
get
the
help.
car, wait till sunrise,
So
bro.
that's what I was gonna do. I got inside my car, took the key out of the ignition to cut the battery, and just angled my seat back to go to sleep. I would hear the occasional car zooming past like once every 10 minutes, but it didn't feel worth waving people down in the dark. It seemed sketchy for myself and to the people in the cars, but when I was starting to actually drift away to sleep, a car door closing from behind me woke me up. I looked in the rearview mirror and saw a car pulled up behind me with its headlights off. I turned around now to get a better look. There was some big pickup truck, but I couldn't see anyone inside of it, nor did I see anyone outside of it. Maybe someone pulled over to help. I got out of the car and said, "Excuse me," to no response. I walked closer to the truck just to confirm no one was inside. Then I walked back to my car. This was weird. I looked towards the trees on the side of the road. Maybe someone was pissing in the woods. I went back inside of my car and locked the door. This was just too weird. Suddenly, there was a tap at my window. I jumped. I looked to see a man looking down at me into the car, smiling. I didn't do anything yet. He said, "Hey, buddy, need a hand?" I lowered the window a crack and said, "Hey, I ran out of gas." The man said, "That's quite the predicament. Step out and give me a hand with this real quick."
Huh?
When he said this, I thought he meant help him with a gas jug to fill up my tank or something, honestly. And so I stepped out of the truck and shut the door, expecting him to lead me to his truck. But he stood there, looked down at me because he was much taller, still smiling, and said, "I need you to empty your pockets, please." It took me a second to process what he meant. I was literally a broke college student driving a piece of shit pickup truck. I wasn't about to get robbed of the only cash I had and my phone. I ran for it in the direction of the trees. I'm small but fast. I turned around and saw he was chasing after me.
Oh, that's crazy.
Once I made it into the trees, I zigzagged all over the place until I seemed to lose him. And I crouched behind a big tree to catch my breath.
Oh, wow.
I heard him approaching closer. I quieted my breath. I heard him say out loud, "I'll kill you, you piece of shit."
What?
I don't know if he was just saying it out loud out of anger, or if he wanted me to hear it, but I was too scared to move. Even after I heard his footsteps move away, I didn't move. In fact, I stayed in this position the rest of the night, eventually laying behind this big tree up until dawn. I went back over to the highway to my truck, and the truck behind me was gone, but my truck's doors were both open. I found that my glove box had been gone through and completely emptied of anything somewhat valuable. My flannel hoodie was also taken, which had something in the pocket, I'm sure. I finally managed to wave down a good Samaritan, and he gave me a ride to the closest gas station.
Wow.
I bought a fuel can, filled it with gas, and the man brought me back to my car, where I filled my tank just enough to drive the truck to a gas station to fill up completely. Then I went straight home,
Get rid of that
This
truck,
was a
bro.
real life learning experience for me that there are bad people out there who will try to
Exactly.
take advantage of you when you're in a vulnerable spot.
For real,
There
man.
are also good people, like the man who helped me.
Yeah, man. I don't know about anybody that's trying to help. Yeah, Blue Dude's a street thug or something. Somebody crazy, bro. At night, man, it's real. Like nobody is usually gonna stop at night, and if they do, you gotta question it, like who they are, because like that guy, he stopped and he was trying to rob him. So people that usually stop, I question, okay, are they actually gonna help, or are they trying to like do some mischief activity, like steal, rob you, or even try to kill somebody? Man, this is what people do out here. It's unfortunate, but it happens. And he could have got killed himself. He could have got killed, but he ran for it. He used his brain, and he got up out of there, which I'm glad he did. But still, he got to get rid of that truck. You get rid of the truck. I know it's probably easy to say that, but man, you got to like get the gauge fixed at least. If you don't get rid of it, is it possible to get the gas tank gauge fixed? Because he need to get it fixed, man. Yeah, I would have not gone outside if I were him. I would have stayed in the car. But it would be something to think about. Like, what if the guy breaks the glass and then try to pull me out, whatever? Then we'll have to make a swift decision. But man, that's crazy. Catherine.
When I was 18, I was very immature and naive. I was kind of a jerk when I was on the road, honking whenever I got impatient, borderline cutting people off. Looking back now, it was very stupid, and if I ever have kids, I'll be that much more strict with them as far as their driving. That being said, I did drive a lot for someone my age. I went away to school, 5 hours away from home. No matter what day of the week, traffic always gets atrocious the closer I get to home. So during breaks, I'll drive home at night to avoid this. It goes from a 4 to 5 hour drive down to a 3-hour drive. It was the beginning of winter break, as the fall semester just ended. All my friends left for home on the same day. I just waited till later on in the night to head out, because there's nothing I hate more than traffic. I used to drive a Mazda 3 that I would beat the ever-living crap out of, and admittedly, I used to be known for driving my car to a near-empty tank consistently. People would comment on it whenever they'd be in the car with me, and I'd always assure them that the car would still have at least 30 miles to go, even after the needle would hit E.
No.
I found out the night I was driving home from
found
school
out.
that I was wrong.
Yeah, hey, I know people like that too, and I'm like, bro, are you like? That's not how it works, bro. I don't know what happened those times you did it, but you got lucky, and now the perfect horrible scenario happened for this guy. That's kind of what you get, man.
It was only like an hour into my drive on the interstate. The needle was on E, and I was pushing my luck, waiting for a gas station sign instead of looking up the nearest one on the map. The car started making these weird sounds suddenly and jolting, and that's when I realized I may have actually run the tank empty this time. I got off the first exit ramp and hoped it would lead right to a gas station. This exit was dark though, with no street lights, and there was just woods on either side. I was scared to slow down and lose my speed because I didn't know if I'd have enough gas to find a gas station. I blew through the stop sign at the end of the ramp and made a sharp, fast turn on the intersecting road, which was another dark road surrounded by woods.
No.
I was screwed.
You're
The
screwed.
car eventually came to a stop and the engine died.
Oh,
Things
man.
only got worse when I took out my phone and saw I had no bars. I have T-Mobile, which is the worst possible reception anywhere far from a major city. I tried calling
real?
911 because I was stupid and thought that 911 works even without reception.
Wow.
Of course, it didn't. I was terrified because I didn't know what to do.
Bro.
I turned on my hazard lights and just waited for someone to pass by.
Oh,
It was
man.
a long time before I saw headlights approaching. When I did, I flashed my headlights at them, and they passed me, made a U-turn, then pulled up on the grass behind me. I didn't know who was getting out of that car, though. I was an 18-year-old defenseless girl.
Oh, that's a
Cracked the
girl.
window down a little bit as this man approached my car.
No.
I told him I need help. I ran out of gas. He offered to give me a ride to the nearest.
If my 64-year-old mom can make $18,274,
Man, those commercials get on my nerves, man.
He was this balding guy with glasses on. He kind of looked trustworthy. I had no other apparent options but to accept his offer. I got out of the car and followed him to his car, making sure to lock my doors first. His car was a black Honda, year probably a 2010. It smelled funky in his car. Couldn't pin what the smell could be, though. He banged another U-turn and started driving in the direction he was driving before. He made conversation with me, asking where I was from and basic questions. I was honest with him that I was driving home from school. He said he lived in the area and that they don't get too many out-of-towners getting off the interstate for this quiet little town. The route we were taking lacked any buildings anywhere. It was just woods everywhere. I asked if he knew of any gas stations, and he said, yeah, just a ways up the road. I started hearing bumping and thumping coming from the back of the vehicle. It sounded like the trunk. At first, I thought it was maybe just bumps in the road or a loose object in the trunk.
Wow.
He seemed to keep talking and talking, like he wouldn't stop. Finally, we got to a sort of town-looking area. There were some lights and buildings at last. A diner and a few small houses. There was a red light at the first intersection since I got in his car. We came to a stop, and for the first time there was silence. And then, I heard the unmistakable sound of someone screaming in the trunk, followed by thumps and bangs. I looked at the man, who looked at me. In a split second, I unbuckled my seatbelt, opened the door, and ran, while at the same time he tried grabbing me and pulling me back into the car.
What the heck?
I heard him get out as well, but instead of chasing me, he ran to close his passenger side door, and then I heard him floor it down the street. I ran into the diner and asked for help, making a scene. I used their phone to call 911. I waited there. It became this whole huge thing, with multiple police showing up to the diner to take a report. Given the gravity of the report that I was making, that I heard someone in the trunk of the car, they had to get every last detail from me about the man's car, his appearance, and where he picked me up. I was also given a ride back to my car so that they could also include the pickup location in the report. They also helped me get a hold of AAA, which eventually would come to my location to fill my car with gas. This was overall the scariest experience of my life. I was shaken to the core the whole rest of the ride home. I hope they found that man. I hope whoever was in that trunk is still alive today. For all I know, that man could have been bringing me to his house or somewhere else. I was just lucky I had a chance to get out at that red light.
Man, that red light was a savior for you. That's the time where that's the time where the red light saved your life, and a time where you loved the red light. Because usually people hate red lights, right? Well, I bet you loved it then. That's for sure. That is crazy. Imagine that situation. Somebody crying for their life in the back bumper or in the back trunk. No, bro. That is just, she got lucky. She got lucky that she was a quick thinker and didn't freeze. If you froze in that situation, this wouldn't have happened. Like nobody would have heard this story because you would have been gone 100%. That is terrible, man. I'm glad she was able to go to a diner and get the call and then get her thing. But that's why, like, I think in that situation, the best thing you could do is cover the windows and turn off your lights and go to sleep, man. Or because you have no service, you don't know anybody, you don't know where you are, so you don't want to draw attention to yourself at all, Man, I don't know, man. Drop in the comments what y'all do, man, in this situation. And if you have any ideas in the chat, drop it in the chat. Let me know what you would have done in that situation. I don't know what I would have done. No, I wouldn't have I wouldn't have got out the car. That's for sure. Because it's too dark. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know who the person is. They could be crazy. That guy was crazy. Perfect storm. Yeah, I wouldn't have got out even if I didn't know he was crazy. If I thought he was a good guy, hey, we stand in the car. I'm acting like I'm not even in the car if I was in the car. I'm turn off my lights, turn off the ignition, covering the windows as best as I can. That's what I'm doing. What are you guys doing? Drop it down in the chat or in the comments. Story number 3, anonymous.
I live in Burke County, North Carolina, in Morganton.
North
I'm used to the
Carolina.
quiet lifestyle that comes with living in a rural place.
Ooh.
You get some weird characters here and there, but it's usually nothing too bad.
Real quick, I always like the idea of living out like to where nobody's around like that. But when it comes to creepy stuff, I'm like, hey, I gotta have a second thought about this because it's cool to have a nice land around your place, but then again, it's like you gotta make sure you have allies around you or something, some kind of reinforcement to back you up, something, because you just can't be out there just by yourself. Bluetooth says maybe after this I might read Harry Potter or play Team Fortress 2. Yeah, to get your mind off of it. Yeah. Living out in the middle of nowhere would be crazy. Would be scary. It would be. But the cool thing about having a lot of land is that it's you have your own space and all that good stuff. But yeah, it would be scary if you don't have anybody around you. At least like some friendly people or some allies or somebody. But anyway, let's get back to the video.
A nice plot of land with my husband. My work schedule fluctuates. Sometimes I work days, sometimes I work nights. This happened on a night that I was on my way home after a night shift, so it had to be like 3 a.m. My phone was almost dead, I was hungry, I was tired, and I just wanted to get some food and head home. I stopped at a gas station to get $10 worth of gas and also a packaged sandwich.
$144.
I proceeded to eat inside
I
the
haven't
gas
seen that
station
in 10 years.
Some sketchy guy was eyeing me for a little until he left the building without buying anything. After eating, I went outside to fill up the gas and then got back in the car. The smell of gasoline was extra pungent for some reason. These roads are very dark and twisty at night.
Victoria said, after this, I'm going to watch some funny videos. Hey, do that. Do that.
So I was driving slow, especially since I was tired after a long day of work. Then something unexpected happened. The needle on the gas gauge suddenly dropped to E, and the low gas light came on and beeped. I had no idea what was going on. I'm not a car person, and I'd never run out of gas before this. Plus, the needle just suddenly dropped. I thought at first that the computer was glitching, so I pulled over and restarted the car. But the needle was still on E. I tried to continue driving, but the engine died. I started having a panic attack.
Ooh, that's
I called
scary.
my husband first thing, and thank God he picked up. I asked him, how did my car run out of gas after I just filled up?
That's
As
crazy.
I got out of the car, I smelled gasoline. I told him this, and he said it sounds like I have a leak. He told me he'd head right over, and he'd call our roadside assistance company. Then I heard a car coming with no headlights. And suddenly, it stopped, not far behind my car.
No.
I suddenly thought to bring up that sketchy guy who was watching me at the gas station.
No.
I asked my husband if there was a chance he did something to my car.
He probably did.
My husband's tone suddenly changed to sounding more concerned and worried.
Oh man,
He said, yeah.
If my wife was in this situation, man, I would be, I don't know, I would be so, I would be. First of all, the adrenaline will definitely be rushing. Man, whoa, that's I don't have no words, man.
Yes, there's a chance that he may have cut my fuel line. I didn't know what that meant. All I knew was I needed to run. I took my keys out of the ignition and shut the door and locked it so that the headlights would turn off. My phone was on like 2%, so I told him to text me when he's close. I ran off the road and towards the first house I could find. I ran down the long driveway and up the property to the front door. All the lights in the house were off. I still rang the bell multiple times anyway. Eventually, a light turned on, and then the door opened. A man in his 60s opened the door.
Oh my
It looked
gosh.
like he was just woken up. I asked him to let me in to hide and charge my phone. After a bit of explaining, he opened the door fully and let me in. I asked him,
if you want to learn how to edit really well from professional Hollywood editors.
Hey, kudos to Grandpa, man, because Grandpa, he could have put himself in danger. he had no idea, but he let her in. Yeah, Grandpa is definitely adventurous.
Charger, and he said he'd go look for one, and asked me to take a seat in the living room. I sat down, still in my nurse scrubs, feeling a mix of
Ooh,
emotions,
nurse scrubs. Dang.
and called out from the kitchen asking me if I wanted some water. I said yes, please. Little did he know, I saw his reflection in a mirror in the living room that gave visibility into the kitchen. I saw him fill a cup with water. Then I know for a fact I saw him drop something into the water. He walked out of view of the mirror, but the faucet was still running. It ran for a solid 30 more seconds before he turned it off. He came back into the living room with a glass of water and handed it to me. I thanked him, and he sat down and just looked at me.
Oh my goodness. I can't even. I had to pause it there because that's just a terrible situation. You running from somebody, not somebody else trying to get you.
And asked me to explain the situation again. I replied to him I just really needed chargers so that I could contact my husband. He said, "Oh, right," and went upstairs. I checked my phone, and it was on 1%. I used that remaining battery to send my current location to my husband just in case. I then smelt the glass of water, and although it didn't smell like anything, I knew he put something in it.
Right.
Now I had to make the decision of whether I should leave or not.
Leave.
On one hand, I needed to charge my phone badly. On the other, I was 99% sure he did something to this water. I heard him walking back down the stairs, and he said he doesn't have any iPhone chargers since he has an Android. After he said this, I got up and walked straight for the door. I'm not an idiot. Once outside, I ran back down the driveway to the road. I felt like throwing up. I couldn't believe 2 separate potential incidents from 2 different men happened in one night. I crept along the side of the road behind the trees. I took out my phone and sent my updated location, and right around now was when my battery died. I waited for until I saw familiar headlights of my husband's truck. I went out waving my arms, and thank God it was him. I got inside the truck and let all my emotions out, crying to him about what I just went through. He brought us to my car, and there was no longer a car behind mine. My back window was shattered, though, and it appeared someone had gotten into the back seat, but nothing of high value was left in my car to steal anyway. My car battery was also now dead, and I told my husband about the man who tried to potentially roofie me. He was so furious he wanted to go break down his door, but I told him no, let's just wait for the tow truck to come. We waited quite a while before it came. My car was towed to my dealership, where they would take the car in the next day. My husband was right. My car was vandalized and the fuel line was cut completely. Thank God I was off the next few days because I needed some time to mentally recover from this night. The idea that twice in one night I was almost a victim of some sketchy men, I just couldn't get over.
Yeah, that's that's a scary situation, guys. Let me turn on the lights. What? Oh my. Oh my goodness, man. What in the world was about to happen to her, man? She got vandalized and she was going for help, and the guy that she was going for help was trying to get her. You don't know what he had planned. He thought he scored himself a catch waking up to somebody at the front door. That's why he was adventurous, because this guy was a weirdo. That is crazy. Oh man. He said, "Eddie, are you going to end the live with funny videos?" We could find one funny video. I'm not sure. We got to be careful because we might get striked. So I'm a little nervous about getting striked. Yeah, man, the phone is dying, and you're getting chased, and you're in the wrong spot. It's just crazy. Blue just said, I don't like the sound of this. Yep, I ain't like the sound of that either. Man, I don't know what I would do. I think I'd go into the stranger's house, but I don't know. Yeah, going into the stranger's house is very risky as well, as we saw in this situation, because you could run into somebody that's strange. But man, you gotta kind of use your instincts in this situation. We should try watching some fail videos, like fail for one. I'm gonna look it up and check it out to see if it's copyrighted or not. Fail for it. That's a good suggestion. Let's see. Fail for it. Let me see. Fail for it. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get copyrighted off of this. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I think I got something on my phone that we could possibly. Don't forget to smash the like button, guys. Don't forget to smash the like button for you, Duke. And if you're watching this on the playback and you're new, definitely subscribe. It is free. It is free 99. Oh, you know what? Oh, let's watch this video. So there's a man who got banned from. Okay, I'm gonna look this up. There's a man who got banned from the casinos. Man who got banned from casinos. Let me type that in. Type that thing. Now this one, I saw like the beginning of it a little bit. I found this on the short, and it's a man who actually wins. Who actually wins casino games and he gets paid, but he's banned because he wins. Isn't that stupid? Like, if the casino is a 50-50 chance of you winning, why they always kick people out that win a lot? It's a scam, bro. It's a scam. So as soon as anybody figures out the trick and know how to play against it, they're gonna ban you. You could probably might even get arrested. I don't know if you can get arrested. I'm just talking about. I'm just saying, like, isn't it crazy how when people figure it out, now they're all of a sudden banned? That should tell you something. But let's watch this video. Ooh. Actually, let's watch the short real quick. Let's watch the short. And then
you can tell that when the casinos are kind of tipping the sides more towards the house.
First is you can just go online and pull up like a probability chart for gambling. Like, these are public information, and you'll get a rough idea, the realistic probability of how many hands in a row you're going to win and how many you're going to lose. If you're any good with math, you can also create the mathematics behind what hands are likely to win for how long. Let's say you created like a software that would tell you this, right? You can deal yourself an 18 as many times as you want in the software, and you can give the dealer a 16 every one of those times, and it'll tell you how many times you're going to win. Probably like 90% you'll win 18 versus the dealer 16. But then you go play real, and you've lost all 5, but you already know from testing the theory
true though
that you were only supposed to lose 2 of those times. Then you're in a mathematical improbability. Some are verging on the border of impossibility.
Tell us some of the signs that you can tell that when the casino.
Okay, that's one little short video, but let's get into an actual one of the actual videos. Actually, let's watch this interview from No Jumper. Let's see this one. I don't know if No Jumper copyrights people, but we're gonna test it out. Hopefully they don't, man. I hope they don't. But let's see. Probably gonna watch like the first 5 minutes of it, just in case. Cause I'm really not trying to get strike. I'm tired of getting hit with the takedowns. I'm tired of getting hit with the takedown, so we got to make sure we play it careful here. Let me share the screen. All right. Oh, hold on. I pressed the wrong button. All right. I think this is pretty interesting. Hopefully you guys find it interesting a little bit. Take your mind off the scary stuff and give you some peace of mind, I guess.
Situation.
I'm making the turn into tech.
They're trying to get us with the copyright with the music.
Every week I'd go for anywhere from like 2 to 4 to 5 days, whatever, in Vegas. So I was immediately living half Vegas and half LA. And I was winning pretty good. And in the beginning, it was like win 20,000 to 50,000. And that was pretty tight. You know, I was like, I don't need this money. They give me everything for free now. comped, and I like made 20 to 50 bands this weekend, no doubt.
Right. Wow.
Then I was like, let me play
It's
a
good
little
money.
bigger. And then I was winning like 100, 200, 300,000 in those couple of days. And I said, I think I'm onto something here. And I was doing it like every week, kind of. I was like, I'm kind of onto something. I said, this is becoming so much money now that I'm risking and rewarding that I should really pay attention to what I got going on here. I said, I always knew that I was like maybe above average player, but this is enough money where I really should focus.
And your game's Baccarat?
So my number one game is Baccarat, but it used to be blackjack and more specifically double deck blackjack.
And you were counting cards?
Not counting cards.
Is that like extremely hard to pull off these days, I hear?
It's not impossible to do, and people do it, and they usually always are caught doing it. I mean, the security systems and the skill checks in casinos are so above and beyond that countries' governments actually contract to secure casino security to hire them to do national security. I mean, that's how advanced a lot of them are.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm not counting cards. I am really good at math, and I am really an emotionally sound guy in such regard. I do have discipline in that. So I think I'm able to make clear-headed decisions when a lot of other players can't because they're getting emotional, as well as they make silly decisions and like convince themselves that they have a feeling about something. But let me tell you right now, feelings have no regard to math.
Right. But I'm also like hearing you were talking about like how your coach, your gambling coach, advises you. And I'm listening to you talk about it. This was at the poker game the other day, and you're basically kind of saying like, he'll instruct me on like, okay, when I'm feeling good or if I'm in the right state of mind to get, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm sitting there thinking, and I don't know anything about Baccarat, but I'm thinking these are all just casino games. The house always has an edge, no matter what kind of pattern you bet in, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't really matter because they always have the edge. And if you just keep playing in the long term, you're always going to lose.
Hey, would you guys ever do anything like go to a casino? I'm curious about that because, you know, you can win some good money, I guess. You can win some good money. But I've always been a little curious about casinos. I've never been to one before. You know, they got a lot of them in Vegas and things like that. But I've always been curious, nevertheless, to at least see inside one, if not anything else, just to see inside one. But drop in the comments, man. Oh, nope. Okay. Bluetooth said nope. He's never been into a casino. I go to a casino, but would have to budget for it. Okay, that's a good strategy. You know, make sure you have because you know, like there's this thing about losing that you want to keep on trying so you can win. And especially when it comes to casino games, a lot of people get addicted to just spending the money because they want to win so bad. They're like, oh, I almost got it. And they end up spending all their money and even probably bankrupting their or liquidating all their money out of the bank just to try to win and end up messing up their lives from that one thing. Buddha said, I prefer to stay away from casinos, and we don't have a lot in Texas since we have strict laws against. Oh, wow. They got strict laws against gambling. I had no idea. Keep on falling down. Dang. Casino. Let's hear a little bit more, and then I'm gonna close it out for tonight.
I don't know. Like, what do you say? I'm sure you've had plenty of people say that too.
I'm super stoked you just said that. So I'm going to be the end all be all of that doubt that everybody in the world gives me.
Okay.
If that was true, then why am I banned from the city of Las Vegas gaming?
I mean, yes, to me, that is the greatest testament to you being something special at gambling is that they would be willing to ban you. Because I know they ban very few sports gamblers, for instance, but they do ban some sports gamblers that they really feel like have a real edge.
So there's been 4 Baccarat players in history to be banned from the game Baccarat. 2 out of the 4 were accused, possibly caught doing what the casinos refer to as cheating, right? My opinion on it is not relevant, but again, I'd love to see the casinos burn. So if it was up to me as a gambler, I would love to see.
Yes, it does take money to make money in trade.
All righty. All right.
players continue playing, right?
Right.
So that out of the 4 of us, there's no like scale that says who's the best, who's the worst, who's most skilled, blah, blah, blah. There's just been 4 in history that have been banned. 2 of them were partners in something and they got banned. They can't play. The third guy, I honestly don't know who he is. I was given his name. I never really looked into him and I don't know his story. And then there's me. So out of the 4 of us to ever be banned, and I'm not cheating, and if I was cheating, they definitely would have caught me by now, then I must be doing something the casinos thought was impossible. And I mean, there's the testimony. I mean, I can't play anymore.
Do you not want to speak openly about what your edge is in these games?
So I can't do that, and I'll tell you why, right? So I do have a plan that could bring every casino to their knees. And I may pull the trigger on this and watch these casinos burn. I might do that. It's something I've been working on for
What year is this
a
in?
year now. And I would, and I don't want to say how far or short I
2
am
years ago.
to the ability of pulling the trigger, but I may do that, and I believe it's going to absolutely crush these casinos. I think some of them are going to go out of business.
You're talking about like a lawsuit, not just taking a bunch of money from them?
I don't even want to say what it is, and no way do I want to prepare them. So the casino has a lot of moles and a lot of snakes. They make fake Instagram accounts, fake TikToks. They send like hot girls to my parties. They're watching this podcast, no doubt. So here's to you guys.
All
they
right.
do all these things for sure, and they're scrutinizing every word I say to see what's happening next, right? So I'm not going to say what it is, but for sure I have the capability of bringing a lot of these casinos to their knees if I ever chose to do so.
Right.
But what my actual edge is, I can't say, and the reason for that is aside from possibly a plan that could exist, is if I were to sell what my exact edge is, right? The amount of money that I've amassed in the game Baccarat is like tens of millions, right? And if I were to sell it, first of all, what happened is as soon as they possibly could, the casinos would change their ability to give me the information I need to figure out how to beat them. Right. So if I, even right now, like even privately, if I told you what I did, which respectfully I wouldn't, but let's say I did off the air, as soon as they knew that you knew that, it's done. They're going to adjust the way the game Baccarat is handled. Right. So I really have one shot at it. And the amount of money that I would put the evaluation at for my algorithm, it would be roughly $50 million. So for someone to pay me $50 million probably is not going to happen. And the guys that, first of all, most people can't afford that. And the guys that could afford that, they have to first hope I'm telling them the truth. They have to hope that it works. And then for me, I'd have a lot of concern even selling it to them, even if they did come with a check for 50 million, right? Because if they don't do it exactly how I teach them and adjust their emotional self to handle what I'm going to tell them and all these things, if any one thing is wrong, they're going to start losing money. And then I'm going to feel like a real dick, like, bro, I just took $50 million from you. And here you are still losing millions.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, guys. Should we got Blue that said if I could pick what house in Hogwarts from Harry Potter, if you could pick which house of Harry Potter from Harry Potter, which would it be? For Slytherin, Hufflepuff, or Ravenclaw, mine would be Gryffindor. I don't remember what each of them represent, but the one where, man, I don't remember what each of them represent. I don't remember. I think the one that you picked is the one that which one is Harry Potter in? I think, isn't he like in the strongest one or something like that? I think the Gryffindor is the one I would pick. I can't remember exactly what they come with, but I think that's the one that I would go with. They have a certain particular power that I like. Yeah, I think I'll go with that one. Hey, nevertheless, man, appreciate you guys for stopping and hanging out with your Duke. I'm about to clock out. Make sure you smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. And definitely stay tuned for the next Scary Saturdays, the notification will be sent out. So make sure you have your notification bell turned on. And if you want to support the channel, join the membership, and you'll see the different tiers that's a part of this. It's EddyEd TV. Catch you guys next stream. Peace.